morning, children. Hope you all are fine, studying well. Let us move on to history topics now. We will start with Indian nationalism, that is, nationalism in India. Remaining part of Europe's nationalism will do later. Children, let us start with the introduction. We live in a world where the existence of nations is taken as for granted. मतलब इसके लिए कोई struggle नहीं करनी पड़ी. We see people as belonging to the nations and having a nationality, and we assume that this sense of belonging has existed from time immemorial. हमें लगता है ऐसा सब शुरू से ही आता आ रहा है. Children, if we turn back to mid 18th century and look for nations as we know them today, we would not find them. आपने पढ़ा है लेट 18th सेंचुरी दैट इज 1789 में फ्रांस में रिवोल्ट हुआ और तब तक किसी को नेशनैलिटी या नेशनल आइडेंटिटी का पता ही नहीं था. इफ़ वी वर टू आस्क पीपल अबाउट देयर नेशनैलिटी, अबाउट देयर आइडेंटिटी, they would not understand our questions because at this time nations did not exist in their modern form. People lived within kingdoms, small states and principalities and not within the nations. यानी देश अब उस समय उस स्थिति में नहीं थे. Then how did the modern nation came into being? How did the people begin to see themselves as belonging to a nation? Yes, the sense of belonging to a nation developed only over a period of time. समय लगा इन सारे कामों में. So now we'll see how the idea of nationalism emerged in India, a process that took many decades, involved revolts and movements. Here, nationalism was shaped by the experience of colonialism and the anti imperialist movements. Let us now understand how nationalism in India developed in variety of ways and linked to different modes of struggle. Children, we cannot understand nationalism only by knowing about the words and deeds of important leaders and the big and dramatic events that led and participated in. We have also to look at the aspirations and activities of ordinary people, see how nationalism is expressed in small events of everyday life and shaped by a variety of dissimilar and unrelated social movements. To understand nationalism, how it spread, we need to know not only what the leaders they said but also how their words were understood and interpreted by the people. ज़रूरी ये नहीं है लीडर्स ने क्या कहा और क्या किया, देखना ये है कि लोगों ने उसे कैसे अपनाया, कैसे वेरियस एक्टिविटीज़ में पार्टिसिपेट किया. If we are to think about how people begin to identify with a nation, we must see not only the political events that are critical to the process, but also how nationalist sensibilities are nurtured by artists and writers, and through art and literature, songs and tales. देखिए इसमें रोल आता है आर्टिस्ट्स का, राइटर्स का, जिन्होंने लोगों में नेशनलिज्म जगाया. सी, nationalism can be developed in variety of ways, that is in many forms or modes of struggle. One may be a singer and motivate in one's way to fight for the country or glorify those who are on the front. Say Lata Mangeshkar's song ए मेरे वतन के लोगों ले लीजिए या बोलो मेरे संग जय हिंद. Even a doctor or a nurse who attends and serves victims of war, or maybe a worker in the field who grows grains for the soldiers' food. One may even be the worker who constructs and repairs the roads from where the soldiers they move on. One may also be a person who works as a uniform maker. So today, we too are expected to prove our nationalism. We didn't fought for the freedom struggle of the nation, but presently are to fight with the invisible enemy that is Corona. At this time, our nationalism demands the true followership to the guidelines provided by the experts and above all our honorable Prime Minister. That is, to abide by the lockdown conditions, be safe, and save others as well. This may be dealt as present times सत्याग्रह. आज सरकार की अपीलें एक प्रकार का सत्याग्रह ही तो है. जो लॉकडाउन बड़े बड़े देश नहीं करवा सके वो हमारे लीडर्स ने अपील से किया. Fine children, now you got introduced to the chapter and now we'll discuss it further in detail. Try to read the topic and be prepared. Thank you. Good morning, children. Now, the first topic of nationalism in India, it starts. Nationalism was connected to anti-colonial movement. The people living in India were belonging to different classes and were bearing the sense of being oppressed under the colonial rule. यानी अलग अलग जातियों के होते हुए भी अगर उनमें कोई समानता थी तो वो ये कि सब कॉलोनियल रूल के अंडर ही थे. So they felt the requirement to get united and fight against a common enemy, the colonials. अतः वे सब मिलकर यूनाइट होकर एक कॉमन एनिमी के अगेंस्ट स्ट्रगल करते हैं. The effect of colonialism on these different classes was different. So, under the leadership of Gandhi ji, Congress tried to unite these smaller groups under one movement. He led the Indian national movement from 1919 to 1947 and united all the elements under one banner. He launched powerful movements like non-cooperation movement, civil disobedience movement and Quit India movement. The important part is how the expectations and demands of the different social groups were united by the leaders of Congress and they were motivated to participate in the movement which collectively is known as nationalism in India. Now the next heading is the First World War, Khilafat and non-cooperation. New ways of struggle involving different social groups in different areas of the country were seen in the years after 1919 as national movements. Changes that were witnessed during First World War. Firstly, new economic and political situations were created by the war. Due to war, defense expenditure increased. It was taken as war loans with increased taxes, customs duties were raised and income tax was introduced. The people suffered a lot of hardships due to prices increased in the year from 1913 to 1918. बच्चों, फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर स्टार्ट होते ही इंडिया में अलग अलग सोशल ग्रुप्स देश में अनेक कारणों से विद्रोह करने लगे. जैसे फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर में भारतीयों का जबरन वॉर में शामिल किया जाना, डिफेंस पर पैसा खर्च करना, टैक्सेस का बढ़ना, सामान की कीमतों का बढ़ जाना आदि. अनदर मेजर issue was forced recruitment. In this, in the villages, people were compulsorily called to join forces, that is, they were made soldiers under, and this all actually angered them. Crop failure in 1918 to 1919 and 1920-21. India suffered huge shortage of food supply as the crop failed in many parts of India. Not only the crop failed, India faced influenza epidemic. Due to this, 12 to 13 million people died. And as the Indians were forcibly being made part of First World War, they hoped for some benefits at the end of war, but actually this did not happen. At the same time, Gandhiji appeared and changed the mode of struggle and introduced Satyagraha. Good morning, children. Now we will discuss how Gandhiji introduced the idea of Satyagraha in India. Gandhiji did his study of law in South Africa. There only he faced a lot of racial discrimination and fought in a non-violent method called Satyagraha. He came back to India in 1915 and focused on the power of truth and was well known for his heroic fight for the Indians. His novel method, that is Satyagraha, brought good results. It was a passive resistance that involved non payment of taxes, boycott of government institutions, etc. According to Gandhiji, if one's cause is true and one is fighting against the injustice, then one only needs to be courageous and needs no physical force to fight with the oppressor. Leaving behind all aggression, one can win the battle only through non violence. Gandhiji strongly believed that this dharma of non-violence could unite the Indians. और यही सत्याग्रह गांधी जी को आम देशवासियों के करीब, बहुत करीब ले आया, भले ही वो गांव के गरीब किसान थे या शहर में काम या रोजगार करने वाले छोटे बड़े वर्कर्स. They all made him the symbol of poor and downtrodden people. After arriving in India, Mahatma Gandhiji successfully organized Satyagraha movements at various places, which brought Gandhiji in close touch with the masses, both the peasants and the workers. Now, his first Satyagraha was in Champaran, Bihar. In 1916, Gandhiji traveled to Champaran in Bihar to inspire the peasants to struggle against the oppressive plantation system. Here, indigo planters were oppressed to grow indigo and sell it at price fixed by the European owners. This was a very successful satyagraha, so it motivated Gandhiji to move further towards Kheda. Another satyagraha he introduced in the year 1917 in Gujarat, Kheda. Crops failed in Kheda district of Gujarat and people were suffering from shortage of food and plague epidemic, so they asked for relaxation or reduction in the land revenue. But the government denied to decrease the land revenue and insisted on its full collection. Gandhiji supported the peasants and advised them not to pay revenue till their demands were accepted. So this movement was also a success as government issued instructions that revenue should be received only from those peasants who could afford to pay. यानी जो लोग दे सकते हैं सिर्फ वही लोग टैक्स देंगे और बाकी लोगों से टैक्सेस ना लिए जाएं, ऐसा सरकार ने मान लिया. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel accompanied Gandhiji in this movement. Now the another movement in the next year was in Gujarat, Ahmedabad. In the year 1918, Mahatma Gandhiji interfered in a dispute between the workers and the cotton mill owners of Ahmedabad. He advised the workers to go on strike till their demands were met. इस तरीके से उन्होंने मिल वर्कर्स को भी मदद की और मिल मालिकों के अगेंस्ट उनसे सत्याग्रह करवाया। Okay children, the success of three satyagraha, that is in 1916, 17 and 18, Gandhi ji in 1919 decided to launch a nationwide satyagraha against the Rowlatt Act 1919. Now what was this act? It was an act passed by the Imperial Legislative Council in spite of the opposition of Indian members. It gave, that is, this Rowlatt Act gave the government enormous powers to repress political activities and allowed detention of political prisoners without trial for 2 years. यानी किसी भी राजनीतिक गतिविधि को रोक देना, दबा देना और बिना सुनवाई 2 सालों के लिए पॉलिटिकल प्रिजनर्स को बंदी बना देना। इसका विरोध करते हुए गांधी जी ने 6 अप्रैल 1919 से नॉन वायलेंट विद्रोह की शुरुआत करना चाहा। बहुत से शहरों में रैलियां निकाली गईं, वर्कर्स स्ट्राइक पर चले गए और रेलवे वर्कशॉप्स को बंद कर दिया गया। एंड 6 अप्रैल 1919 was observed as Satyagraha Day. People all over the country observed fast and hartal. This first countrywide agitation marked the foundations of non-cooperation movement. To suppress this movement of political leaders and Mahatma Gandhi ji, they were stopped to enter Delhi. और 10 अप्रैल को पीसफुल प्रोसेशन पर फायरिंग भी हुई, जिससे परेशान और उकसाए और भड़के लोगों ने बैंक्स पर, पोस्ट ऑफिसेस पर और रेलवे स्टेशंस पर अटैक कर दिया। इमीडिएटली कमांड जनरल डायर ने ले ली और मार्शल लॉ लागू कर दिया गया। Now what is this martial law? It means law of military government. When martial law is imposed, ordinary laws are suspended. After this comes Jallianwala Bagh massacre. On 13th of April 1919, a large crowd gathered in the enclosed ground of Jallianwala Bagh. It was an enclosed area in Amritsar, Punjab. Some people came here to protest against government's repressive measures, जबकि कुछ और लोग वैसाखी के पर्व पे वहाँ पे एकत्रित हुए थे। Many of them were unaware of martial law that was already imposed. General Dyer entered the area, blocked the exit point and opened fire on the crowd, killing hundreds of people over there. General Dyer did this to produce a moral effect and to create a feeling of terror and awe in the minds of satyagrahis. As the news spread, crowd took to the streets. There were strikes, hartals, clashes with the police and attacks on the government buildings. इतना सब हो जाने पर भी गवर्नमेंट चुप नहीं बैठी और लोगों को नीचा दिखाने के लिए, सताने, डराने, धमकाने के लिए बड़े ब्रूटल स्टेप्स लिए गए। सत्याग्रहीज को नाक रगड़ के ब्रिटिशर्स को सलाम तक करने के लिए कहा गया। सत्याग्रहीज दे वर फोर्स्ड टू रब देयर नोजेस ऑन द ग्राउंड, क्रॉल ऑन द स्ट्रीट एंड सैल्यूट द ब्रिटिश। People were beaten and villages were bombed. When Gandhiji saw the spread of violence, he called off the movement. Next comes Khilafat movement. Though Rowlatt Satyagraha was a widespread movement, still it was in towns and cities only. But Gandhiji wanted more broader movement in India. यानी ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोगों की भागीदारी, और ये तभी हो सकता था जब हिंदू मुस्लिम साथ हों। Then Gandhiji declared to take up Khilafat issue. Now, cause of Khilafat issue. Now, let us discuss the causes of Khilafat issue in detail. The First World War had ended with the defeat of Ottoman Turkey. Ottoman Turkey First World War में हार गए थे. There were rumors that harsh peace treaty was going to be imposed on Ottoman Emperor, who was the spiritual head Khalifa of Islamic world. और इसी समय हिंदुस्तान में रहने वाले मुसलमानों ने डिसाइड किया कि वो ब्रिटिश को फोर्स करेंगे कि अपनी पॉलिसी अगेंस्ट दी टर्किश पीपल चेंज किया जाए. एट दिस खिलाफत कमेटी वॉज फॉर्म्ड अंडर द लीडरशिप ऑफ मौलाना आज़ाद, हाकिम अजमल खान एंड हसरत मोहानी. A young generation of Muslim leaders like the brothers Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali began discussing with Mahatma Gandhi ji about the possibility of a united mass action on the issue. Gandhi ji saw this as an opportunity of uniting Hindus and Mohammedans as would not arise in 100 years. यानी फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर में खलीफा की स्थिति खराब होने से दुखी इंडियन मुस्लिम्स ने उनके खिलाफत मूवमेंट में सपोर्ट करके गांधी जी ने एक यूनाइटेड नेशनल मूवमेंट दैट इज़ नॉन कोऑपरेशन मूवमेंट स्टार्ट करने का निर्णय सितंबर 1920 में कांग्रेस के कोलकाता सेशन में ले लिया. टिल नाउ we discussed how Gandhiji stood in support of Khilafat movement and convinced other leaders to start a non-cooperation movement. Now, why was this movement launched? Gandhiji in his book Hind Swaraj declared that British rule could establish in India only because of Indians' cooperation. If they would have refused to cooperate, British rule would have not been there. जाहिर है जब तक आप किसी को वेलकम करते हैं तभी तक कोई आपके पास आ सकता है, अदरवाइज उसे जाना ही होगा. गांधी जी proposed to unfold this movement in stages. To gain maximum success, Mahatma Gandhi ji proposed a stage by stage strategy implementation for the movement. Firstly, the movement had to begin with a surrender of titles, honors and honorary posts by the people. Next to it was planned shutdown or the boycott of civil services, army, police, British courts and legislative assemblies. Next was the British goods were to be replaced by Indian goods or Swadeshi to promote native cottage industries. Next, again in Congress session of 1920 in the month of December at Nagpur, it was finally accepted and under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi ji, non-cooperation movement was launched with full force. Now we'll be discussing about how this movement came into being, who participated into it, how did the different social groups conceive of the idea of non-cooperation. Now comes differing strands within the movement, that is how the movement in the towns it came forward. Till now we have discussed how Congress session in 1920 December at Nagpur accepted the non-cooperation movement under the leadership of Gandhi ji. This movement was launched with full force by Gandhi ji, and now we will talk about how this movement was seen and accepted by the countrymen, how they participated, also how they interpreted it according to their need and aspirations. Finally, non-cooperation movement began in January 1921. Different social groups joined it, but the term was taken differently by various people. See how. Firstly, we'll discuss about the participation of middle class in the cities. As it was decided by Gandhiji, thousands of students left government schools and colleges. Resignations were given by the headmasters and teachers. Even the lawyers stopped their legal practices. Another was boycott of council elections. Only in Madras, the party named Justice took it or felt it like entering and enjoying certain powers in the council. As far as economic effect is concerned, foreign goods were boycotted. Liquor shops were picketed and foreign cloth was burnt in huge bonfires. This also affected the import of foreign cloth that got reduced to almost half in 1 year. That is 102 crores to 57 crore in the year 1921-22. मतलब लोग डर गए और वो फॉरेन कपड़ा खुद ही विदेशों से मंगवाने से रुकने लगे. Merchants and traders were so angered or annoyed and some were scared also that they stopped trading in foreign goods or even were not ready to invest in the same. This change had a drastic impact on the people of the country. They started to discard, deny imported clothes and felt pride in wearing Indian cloth, that is, the cloth produced in their country. This boosted the production of Indian textile mills and handlooms. It was all how non-cooperation movement spread, but it could not last for long time. There were a number of reasons for the same. First and the foremost was the expensive khadi. See children, a cloth made in mill was by machines and obviously quite cheaper as compared to handmade cloth or khadi. So specifically the poor people could not afford it and were forced to use mill cloth again. Another reason was after the boycott of foreign institutions, say whether as a student or as a teacher of the school or college or the lawyers of the court, Indians, they had no such institutions of their own. Hence, they had to turn back and rejoin the previous institutions only.